Hi everybody, my name is Rick. Welcome to my Idaho cabin. Hi folks, many of you know that I lived in the California Delta in a little town called Ileton. It's kind of like the California version of Cajun country. And up there we did a lot of gumbo, jambalaya, things like that. So today I'm going to share a recipe with you for shrimp gumbo with andouille sausage. I'm sure you're going to love it. One of the first things you have to do with a gumbo is to make a roux, but this is going to be a little different. Normally, you'd have to sit there over a stove for about an hour whisking an oil and flour mixture and until it comes to a dark chocolate brown. This is different. I'm going to try a new thing. We're going to do a dry roux. So in order to do that, we need about 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And we'll just spread that out in this pan to about a ½ inch thick. And then we put it in a 425-degree oven for about 40 minutes. And then we'll check it. And it might need to go 45 or whatever, but right around 40 minutes I'm going to start checking this to make sure that it hasn't gotten too dark. Okay, it's at 425, and we'll set the timer for 30 minutes. Okay, be back with you when the flour's done. Hi folks, I want you to meet my new friend, Hope. Come here, Hope, come here. Okay, sit pretty. Good girl. I'm babysitting Hope for a week. Yes. Her parents are in Portland, and so I get to play with Hope for about a week. And she's a wonderful little puppy. Doesn't mind too well, but neat puppy. Okay. Okay, I just pulled this flour out of the oven, and as you can see, it's a nice nutty brown color. So I've put it into this other bowl to cool, and once it's cool, then we'll turn it into a roux and use it in our gumbo. Well, let's start putting this baby together. First thing we're going to do is we're going to saute the Holy Trinity. We have celery, green bell pepper, and white onions. And I'm going to saute them in a little oil. Until they're nice and soft. That ought to be enough. Okay, I'll let this warm up just a little bit. Okay, we're going to saute the Holy Trinity over medium-high heat for about 5 minutes. We'll come back when this is softened. Now that the vegetables have softened, I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic, pardon me. And we'll stir that around for a couple of minutes, and then we'll add some Cajun seasoning. Okay, we have the roux. I added the chicken stock to the flour. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now it's time to add it. Add this into the Holy Trinity and let that get marrying. And let those flavors come together. And now we'll add a quart of chicken stock. And a cup of water. Okay, get this going. There we go. Now it's looking good. Now we're going to bring this to a simmer. Let all those good flavors marry. Okay, now that it's up to a simmer, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And a little salt to taste. We're going to just let that simmer for about 30 minutes for everything to come together. Then we'll add the andouille and the shrimp, and we should be ready to go. Okay, the gumbo has simmered for about 25 minutes. Now I'm going to add the andouille sausage and let that simmer for about another 5 minutes. Okay, the andouille has been simmering for about 5 minutes, so now we're going to add the shrimp. And that's it. Hope is very interested. I think she might like shrimp. And we'll stir that in, and that will call it good. Let that cook for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. In the meantime, I've been making rice, and so that's ready to go. So now we'll just let the shrimp cook in the Dutch oven here until it gets ready, and then we'll be ready to eat. You ready to eat, Hope? Yes? Your tail's wagging. Okay. Okay, guys, we're ready to go. Ready to dish this up. I've just molded some rice in the center of this dish, and now we'll put it in around the rice. There we go. And do a little chefy thing. We'll put a few sprinkles of parsley around to make it look pretty. And there you go. shrimp gumbo with andouille sausage. Okay, there we go. It's all ready and ready to sit down and eat. When I lived in Ileton, California, I ate a lot of gumbo and jambalaya because one of my best friends, Charlie Hand, owned the Del Rio Hotel. She and her husband Ralph were honorary Cajuns, and so we had a lot of food that was typical of Louisiana. And so Charlie is one of the best cooks that I know. And she made a lot of gumbo, jambalaya. We had crawdads and all sorts of good stuff. But anyway, Charlie, I hate to tell you this, but this recipe is better than yours. It is super. So folks, if you really want to try a good gumbo recipe, try this. And use that dry roux method. It really works out well. But I found out you're going to have to use a heavy pan when you put the flour in the oven. And I'm thinking 425 might be just a skosh high. So next time I'm going to do it, I'm going to lower the heat down to about 400 and keep an eye on it that way. I think it'll be a little bit better, but use a heavy pan. The first time I made it, I had a light pan, and yeah, it did burn, but that was from the heat from the elements of the oven. So try the dry roux. Once I got the method squared away for baking it and turning it that nice golden brown, boy, I'll tell you, that roux was delicious and easy. So if you like the recipe, try it. If you like the videos, subscribe down below, and also down below, remember, the recipe will be right there. So hope you enjoy it as we did last night. Everybody that had it here tonight just raved about it. So until next time, this is Rick at My Idaho Cabin.